Mm. All right. Are we here?
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
We are here.
Happy spring.
Woohoo! Spring is in the air. We have arrived to the vernal equinox.
The day of balance, of equal light and darkness.
And a really ripe time to continue to plant our intentional seeds of what we're ready to slough off and prune, detox, purge, release, and more importantly, what we want to favor in this time of growing light, expanded chi, energy, potential, possibility, creation, and growth. There's just a couple spring themes going on.
Very exciting.
How are you all doing? I know some of you were here with us last evening,
Mhm.
and we talked about a power song. We did some really great purging qigong. We also did an embodiment yoga restorative class embodying the life cycle of a tree from seed. And we talked also about the possibility for homework. And maybe you had an opportunity to take a walk in nature last night or this morning, or you're planning to do that later today. And Nicole tossed out a couple ideas of what we could do
Yeah,
interacting.
as a way to celebrate and honor the spring, this transition into spring is to write a love letter to nature, to maybe a tree, a favorite park, maybe even your whole state or the place where you live. So finding a way to appreciate and notice the signs and symptoms of spring that's popping up, emerging all around you.
Mhm. Yeah.
So if you haven't done that yet, maybe today's the day. Today is the spring equinox. So this would be the perfect day to write a love letter to your property, to the place where you live.
Or to sing a power song, or
Yes.
to hum that power song we shared. If you didn't check it out, we highly recommend it. It's a wonderful way to do like a walking meditation, to really be in your body as you're moving through nature, but
Mm.
also to connect with all the potential learning and healing and growth available when we look for the signs in nature.
And we learned that song from Sandra Ingerman. She's a shaman and has written several books and leads and guides lots of journeys and workshops to help us explore our inner nature.
Yeah, and help us speak our true voice, like our dog Jake is barking his true voice. And also maybe consider this time of transition for your own well-being, for some exquisite self-care, uh, as well as maybe offering some gentle loving kindness, some generosity to nature, maybe in the form of not just a love letter or a song, but maybe even an offering.
Yeah, you can bring flowers to a favorite place in on your property and maybe lay out some flowers or create a flower petal circle or mandala or little heart on the ground
Yeah.
for your property.
Yeah, you could design, sometimes you see cairns and arrangement of stones, or you could give an offering in the form of art. I know sometimes Nicole will paint stones that we have around the home and place them either outside or in the neighborhood to brighten up the life, to kind of magnify and appreciate the beauty that's already around us.
Another thing that we like to do to help kind of give an offering to spring is to feed the birds. We
Oh,
put a lot of bird seed out at this time of the year, and especially feeding the ducks, but intentionally today, feeding the birds, laying out some bird seed, or what traditionally I'm Hopi Tewa, and we'll oftentimes offer blue cornmeal. So we'll kind of pray and offer, kind of say our prayers, and also throw out some blue cornmeal as an offering and saying thank you to the land for all that it's given back to me.
yeah. And then, of course, every time you have a meal, you have an opportunity to appreciate and give thanks to nature, to the life, whether it was a plant or an animal, that all the energy, and taking a moment just to appreciate that this energy
Mm.
form is now going to commingle with your energy and help build and imbue you with chi, with vitality, with human potential to live and express and grow. It's just a really sweet thing. Sometimes we kind of run over eating times. And as we pause in this equanimity between light and dark, it's also
Mm.
nice to inject lots of pausing before we eat
Mhm.
and before we take steps. Because sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves, especially with this rising yang
Yeah,
energy.
it's all going up and out. So sometimes we ride those waves and like on a surfboard, and sometimes we kind of fall off and get jangled up in the mix of the chi rising. So how do we prevent ourselves from feeling the tension and resistance? We can make these offerings and take mindful pauses.
Okay, so a few different ideas. And now what we'd like to do is just take a moment to intentionally open the circle again today. Excuse me while I cough and grab a paperwork. If you could.
Okay. I have already lit my candle. So if you'd like to, you can light your candle for today.
Yes, and some of you are familiar with the beautiful music of David Promote. Excuse me.
Wow. Liver chi there.
Whoa, explosive energy. And David Pramal, oftentimes she will really beautifully sing different chants. And we thought this would be a really sweet time to talk, or not just talk, but experience the beauty of the chant. And let me get it into the frame here. This is a very ancient chant. Sometimes you hear it in yoga. And we kind of have it separated with hyphens so you can follow along if you'd like.
Yeah, we want to share as many traditions with you as possible. And these are important traditions to us that we have found to be valuable. And chanting, using a mantra, a tool for your mind, mantra, a tool for your mind to focus on, to grow our awareness into and presence with, and using this particular mantra, leading us from ignorance to knowledge, leading us from darkness to light as we approach the longer days of light, leading us from death to immortality, peace, peace, peace. So that's the translation of the mantra that we like to share with you today. And we've chosen this one because it's focusing on going from darkness to light.
Yes, and because we're at the halfway, 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark today. And for the next 3 months, there's going to be more and more light. And if you've been with Nicole and I before, you've heard us say that, yes, we want to acknowledge the darkness. We want to acknowledge the challenges, the resistance, the things that have given us pause and have also shaped us and helped us grow and heal. But we want to favor the light. So it's important that we acknowledge and honor anger, sadness, fear, hurt, pain, suffering, but that we favor the light, love, being in community like we're doing now, choosing really high quality people and ideas to surround ourselves with inside and outside. So I'm gonna pull up my player here, and we're gonna play this song. And feel free if you would like to maybe listen for the first round. And I think I've got everybody on mute, and then maybe follow along in the second or third or the rest of the rounds.
Before you start playing it, let
Yeah.
us first, so what we can do, a couple options is, this is just a nice way to begin the day, to open up and maybe even face the east, face the sunrise.
Yes.
So you can turn your body in that direction. And actually, we are facing east
We
today.
are, yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm so excited
the
about that.
direction
Yeah.
of springtime is east. Also, the sun rises from the east. This is the beginning of the yang energy. This is the beginning of our radiant, luminous light coming forth. So today we explore and practice emanating light and love.
Yeah, so we can begin by facing the east. You can do this laying down, you can do this sitting up, you can choose to participate in saying the chant, the mantra, repeating the mantra with the song that we're sharing with you, or you can just let the words just wash over you and imbue you with the experience and the feeling of peace, peace, peace.
I love this. Yes. So let's emanate some light and love together.
Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Prityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Prityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Prityama Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya
Move a little, add some movement.
Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. A little extra music. Let's turn off our player. So just allowing that experience to settle. You don't have to understand it. In fact, though we want to use the full depth of our full spectrum awareness and intelligence, we really want to favor feeling and sensing and being with today. So does anybody want to share any feedback or ask any questions before we do a little qigong for all of our joints? Going to do a little joint-free series to wake us up and get us in alignment with all the moving energies of the season. Right. Not hearing anything or seeing anything. Of course, anytime you'd like to speak up, simply unmute or put something in the chat. Preferably don't do the chat when we're far away from the screen because we won't see it. In that case, just unmute. All right, let's come standing. We'll take a moment or two to get our camera set up.
Let us move. All right.
Let's see. And we've got a couple notes. Are you going to talk us through it?
I think you are.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
great.
you go
I'm going to do this one.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to do a beautiful joint free from head to toes, skin to bones. And let's start with our feet, about hip to shoulder width apart. A nice way to find your natural stance is with a simple hop. You just kind of hop up and your feet will kind of know where to land. So unless you're healing in your knees or spine, you could try that just as a way to, here I am. It's like, ta-da! Just like that sprout pops out of the earth or that bud or flower blooms on the tree, the plant, ta-da! So great. That's just a nice simple way to be here now. Sometimes we do shaking the tree, but sometimes bouncing in, boing, that kind of rebounding. It's very spring-like. Think of a spring kind of bounces, recoils.
It's fun.
It is kind of fun.
It makes me smile.
It's very childlike, and the stage of spring is all about kind of adolescence and early adulthood. So it's all this possibility and freedom. So let's focus.
So, I'm just imagining jumping in and out of the day with you today.
Yeah. Yeah. So you ever, if you want to excite, if you have a pet, you could try this. If you have a loved one around, you could, I'm here. I'm here. And I'm so glad. So let's get to a little joint-free series. What I'd like you to do is take your right foot. You're going to lift up the ball of the foot. You're going to spread the toes, and you're going to really first push through the heel. That's one of your 3 points on the tripod that's going to support your foot. You spread your toes wide, and I want you to plant the big toe and pinky toe side of the ball of the foot into the ground as you spread the toes and grab the ground. So you have this tripod on the right foot, big toe, pinky toe, ball of the foot, and heel. Feel that area connected. Now with your left foot, you're going to start to float the foot. And if you need a wall, a chair, or you sit down, go for it. And we're going to simply point and flex our left toes and our ankle, and getting some beautiful movement and range of motion through a quarter of all the bones are in your feet. And you may even want to contact your hips. Make sure that or balance with your arms out. Make sure that your floating leg isn't higher. Sometimes there's a tendency to hike up that floating leg. So be sure those two imaginary flashlights are balanced. Now let's again do that same thing. Opposite high heel, land and plant into the heel, and then find those 3 points, big toe, pinky toe, side of the ball of the foot. And we're going to see how much range of motion we can get in through our toes, but also our foot bones and our ankles. Notice if there's any tension in your face, neck, shoulders, or jaw, kind of the usual suspects and the first signs that you're activating and reinforcing stress. One more breath. We're going to go a little longer than you think. Really warm up the joints, get that synovial fluid pumping. And each time when we return, you'll come down, opposite high heel, spread the toe, get your tripod. This time, let's circle the joint. I'm going to circle the toes and ankle, but notice we're not circling the whole leg. So your kneecap stays forward. You're not circling from your thigh. And let's circle the other direction as well. Can you isolate right into your ankles? Feel your own roots from that standing leg helping you be anchored. And of course, get any balancing support you like. On to the other side. Again, reverse high heel, get your tripod in place, nice firm rootedness. And so any kind of balancing flow is really good for spring energy, for our liver, which controls the balance of emotions, helps us prevent from getting overly or underly whelmed with our body and our feelings. Let's go the other way.
Well, and balancing, I feel like it's like the quickest way we can bring our presence into the moment. We can't be anywhere else, otherwise we're going to lose our balance if we're not right here.
Very true. Great. One more deep breath and let that go. Let's plant that foot again. Reverse that high heel, plant your tripod. And this time, let's get a little more through our knees. So you could have the leg at a 45-degree angle here, or maybe 90-degree.
You can do this all sitting.
Yes, feel free to grab a chair. And we're going to simply extend and
maybe you want to support your thigh. You can interlace your fingers underneath your hamstrings, and then you can start to kick out your leg.
Perfect. Nice deep breaths here. And maybe you're practicing the letting go or purging breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale out an open mouth. It's very good for letting go. Or you want to inhale and exhale through your nose if you want to focus more on strengthening and tonifying today. So notice where you are right now. Let's release that. And again, reverse high heel, spread the toes, get your tripod, and either support or not underneath that hamstring. And all of us are gonna lose our balance. We're not meant to be in balance. In fact, our bodies aren't even symmetrical. They're not designed to be symmetrical. Our bodies are asymmetrical, and they're designed to deal with asymmetries. In best health, we can be with and handle asymmetries and being off balance. One more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. All right, good. Let's get a little hamstring strength. So you could have your hands on your hips or dangling. I like to lean forward a little, but you can stay straight up, and we're just going to bring the heel of your foot toward your seat. If you extend a little forward, you're going to activate a little more of your back muscles, but make sure your spine is straight. You don't want to bend forward with a cashew rounded spine. So if you're leaning forward a little, push your butt back and feel like your head and seat are stretching away from each other.
Kick yourself in the bum.
Give yourself a nice kick in the rear. Better you than someone else. And then onto the other side. Each time, I really want you to focus on planting that tripod, that anchored roots into the earth. And it's so important that we keep challenging our balance our whole life long. It's not that some people are born with good or bad balance. It's that you either practice your balance and you're proficient, or you practice not balancing, you don't practice, and you're not proficient. One more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Great, let that go. And let's find a little balance in both hips. Feet a little wider now, more shoulder width apart. We're still feeling those 3 anchored points in each foot, hands on our hips. And one of our favorites is a peanut butter jar.
I like to go really wide with my legs on that.
Oh, Nicole likes really wide legs.
Yes.
So you decide, you could be super wide and you're really exaggerating how far you can press left, right, forward, back. And you're enjoying some really deep breaths. About that balance, you don't need to do a yoga or qigong class to practice your balance. A lot of times I'll do it when I'm brushing my teeth. I'll brush my teeth on one foot, or especially the foot that isn't necessarily as strong. Or let's go the other direction. Maybe next time you're doing some dishes, balance on one foot. So beneficial, not only for your muscle tone, not only for preventing injuries, but also for waking up your nervous system. Our brains, our nervous system love new motions, creative expressions of our bodies in relation to gravity and nature. One more deep breath in. How much space can you create? One more breath out. Beautiful. Joe, go ahead.
Are we doing some Zumbas?
I was gonna end with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were in the hips. Okay.
Yeah. But I was thinking, do you want to go shoulders or spine?
Spine.
Okay, you want to lead us through some wave, perhaps?
Oh, well, how about just some flexion extension?
Okay then.
All right, so let's just open up our arms. We'll do like a little goalpost and reach our arms back behind us, our heart open up towards the sky. Big breath in. On the exhale, we'll just round the spine, tuck the chin, bring the elbows together. All the air comes out. And we're just gonna go back and forth a few times, just like this. Inhaling and exhaling, letting your breath get a little deeper, a little wider each round as you expand into the day. Tucking and squeezing your cheeks, reaching your tailbone back and your sternum to the sky. Few more rounds, opening up that highway of chi, your spine, your central nervous system, connecting you from all your muscles and bones to your brain and vice versa. Moving as quick or as slow as it feels nourishing to you. And this next time, we're going to finish on the exhale here. On your next inhale, we're going to turn to the right. And exhale to the right.
Oh, are we rounding? Sorry.
I wasn't going to, but I was following you.
Sorry. Okay. Let's try again.
Inhale one more time. And then exhale to the center. I'll do what you did. Okay, we'll inhale to the left. Exhale to the center. And we'll go back and forth.
So you can exhale with the ah breath, the sound of the heart, with a sigh. It's the purging breath. Or if you want to help harmonize with spring energy, liver and gallbladder sound, is a breath, the SH, a shush sound. Shh. If possible, keep your eyes open. The liver in traditional Chinese medicine opens to the eyes. It's all about your vision, enhancing your perspectives, expanding how and what you see.
Let's go one more time each way. And back to center, one more round, balancing your spine.
Right through the middle.
Yum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice. And one place that we tend to stiffen as a board in relation to stress and our liver energy getting disrupted is in our shoulders. So letting your arms dangle for a moment, just notice your shoulders. Don't try to fix them or correct them, just notice them. Feel how open and relaxed or stiff and tight they are. Maybe take your shoulders for a little test drive, roll them up, back, and down. Just notice where your shoulders are, how easy your hands hang. Don't change anything. Notice which way your hands are facing. And here, let me show you a very simple way to put your shoulders into alignment without a lot of effort. You start with your hands in a prayer, and you're going to come right up through the center. Your elbows will touch or they'll come close. And then you'll keep lifting up as high as you can. The elbows will automatically peel away, and then drop your arms right beside you in line with your ears. And just pause for a moment. We'll do a couple more, but just notice, does your chest, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your relationship between your head and torso feel a little different? A lot of times that will open up the front of your body. That will draw your shoulder blades and your scapular sling in a more relaxed position. Let's try that 2 more times. So next time you have tight shoulders, maybe you've been sitting at the computer, rounding your back. Maybe you've just been sitting a lot in general. Pandemic tends to lead to lots of sitting. Just do maybe 3 rounds of this is a great way to tune up and reestablish equanimity in your shoulder girdle. Oh, a little bonus. Yeah, let's do 1 more like Nicole's doing.
You were
Perfect.
talking, so I didn't know.
Excellent. Great. You did perfect. Let's do it. Go, Nicole.
No, that's all I got. What do you mean? Go.
Okay, so we're going to experience the difference between tension and relaxation. So in the yin and yang of things, we don't want to be overly tense, but we don't want to be overly pliant and submissive. So we want to feel the balance by exploring the extremes. So first, extend your arms, kind of really, really tight, extend, push them away. You're not lifting your shoulders up, but you're extending, and then drop your arms really floppy. See how much pressure you can let go. Good. Try that a couple times. Reach, engage as many muscles all around your hands, your fingers, your wrists, your arms, your elbows, and then drop it like it's hot. 1 more time. Extend, engage, feel the tension, tense, get those muscles engaged, and then flop. Okay. Now we're going to see if we can find the middle path with a little pendulum swing. So now we're going to lift the arms up, and then we're going to bring our right hand in front, left hand behind, palms up. And then come back to center, arms up, left hand in front, right behind. And then maybe balance with your breath. So we're going to inhale up. Either do the sigh breath or the shh breath. It's a little spring cleaning, detoxing. We're sweeping it out. Sweeping out the old chi of the winter, letting go of what you don't need. You can notice the knees bend when you twist. Straighten when you go center. In through the nose. Out and open mouth. Go quicker or slower than Nicole and I. Find your natural rhythm for 5, 4. 1 more. Balance yourself out. And notice if you've got any more chi, any circulation. I know my hands and fingers feel like they've got more blood. They feel ready. Great. And that's what spring's all about. Getting ready, being ready for all this potential energy. All right. And let's, get through our neck a little. So I'd like you to interlace your hands or hold the back of your opposite wrist. And we're going to simply look up on the in-breath and look down on the out-breath. Beautiful. And if you can't gather your hands or wrists behind you, you can let your hands be relaxed by your sides. So we're inhaling, we're extending through the neck, the chin, the gaze, and then exhale, we're compressing. Continue to keep your jaw in toward your throat. So really integrate your chin. Don't jut it forward. Keep your chin integrated toward your throat as you look up and down. Let's just try 2 more. About 6 repetitions is a really nice way to help warm up a body part, get the joint in an optimal place, get it ready for the day. And we'll come back to center. Great. Here, if you want to add a little more activity in your hands, if you've got your wrist or your opposite hands, now bend your elbows, bring your fingers a little higher, and then squeeze your elbows. So really actively squeeze your elbows towards each other, and that'll be activating the muscles behind your heart. If you get tired of that, then take a break. And if you notice your shoulders are crunching, then take a break. You want your shoulders nice and soft, but you actively squeeze elbows together. Inhale here, keep your chin integrated toward your throat. Exhale, drop an ear to its shoulder. It doesn't matter left or right. Inhale, center. Exhale, maybe out of open mouth, ear to opposite shoulder. And we're just moving through the safest ways, the safest sequence to move through the joints, which is flexion extension first. So we did that forward and back bending with our neck bones, chin up, chin down. And then the second safest way to move is side bending, lateral flexion extension, what we're doing now. One more to each way, inhaling center, exhale, drop to your side, balance yourself out. Beautiful. And next time you feel balanced, come back to center, release the hands. Good, shake that out. And then the last way, after forward and back bending, side bend, we can do rotation. You don't want to do twists too soon or early when you're not warmed up or when you have a vulnerability, or you could make things worse. So for here, we're going to look back. We're going to use our arms too. We're going to press our hands down, heels of the palms as close to the floor as possible, but the fingertips as close to the ceiling as possible. And look over a shoulder as you inhale. Exhale, release the tension in your hands and arms as you come back to center. And then inhale, push down again. Look over the opposite shoulder. Great. Exhale, the arms soften, the gaze returns. You could have your feet hip width, shoulder width, or maybe you want to start getting a little more centered with your stance and bring your feet together. Good. Inhale, press down, stretch, expand. Also stretch the muscles around your eyeballs. Good. In through your nose, out an open mouth. Maybe you want to add the ah or the shh. One more to each side. Releasing that intermediary between the head and the heart. When there's neck pain, I never look just at the neck. I also want to see what's going on between the mind and heart. And release. Good. And then just a little for our jaws. We're going to find the sides of our jaws. We'll get a little closer to the camera so you can see here. And we're going to get right into the sides of our jaw. And
TMJ.
Yeah, the TMJ, which is right in front of your ear canal. You can circle there. If it's a little tender, be more gentle. Rather, come down a little lower. This muscle here is called your masseter. It's the largest
muscle.
Yeah, it's like a cheek jaw muscle. And this is the strongest muscle in your body for its size. Of course, quadriceps are the strongest, but be tender. If you just kind of massage like you had a coin between your thumb and index, you show me the money, you can do that with your jaw. And you might want to let there be a little space between your teeth, between your lips as you do this. Nicole's even offering a little so you can also, what they call in polyvagal therapy, you can self-regulate. You can make these soothing sounds so your nervous system begins to attune with the relaxation response. So maybe add 3 more deep breaths, maybe with sound. You could be coin rubbing, you could be twisting, you could hold on a point. Find some kind of...
I'm gonna get to my ears.
Yeah, find some kind of compassionate touch. And let's also add our ears. Yeah. So circle around your ears, just like foot and hand reflexology. The reflexes mirror the entire body. And there's also a style of reflexology called auricular therapy. So by massaging and rolling and folding your ears, you can go a long way toward helping tune up all the systems, organs, glands, muscles, tissues in your body.
And then let's finish with some acupoints on the face, right? A little massage,
We'll do that
acupoints.
later, but
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. If you want to do something
Well,
now.
since we're massaging the face.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're just gonna go right on either side of the nostrils and we're just gonna massage deeply. So if you've been feeling little allergy symptoms lately, this might be a helpful point. Also might be really, really sore.
Yeah, this spot right off from your nostril flare. Sometimes you'll even feel a little nodule between your skin and your bone, and really helpful for releasing congestion in the sinuses.
And then we're gonna go out a little wider, just in line with your pupil, right on the cheekbone, still on the bone there. And again, massage. Another
Yeah.
point to help decrease sinus pain, congestion.
Yeah, right. We're just beneath your zygoma. Yeah. And if you find an achy or tender area, that's your body's way of communicating that it would like a little more attention here.
And you can choose, do you want big circles, little circles? Do you want deep presses? Maybe that feels better for you. So exploring what feels like the best contact for your body. One more breath here.
Yeah, sometimes just pausing and holding is exactly what your body
I know, it
wants.
feels really good. And then right here in between the brow, drilling bamboo, bladder 2.
Yes. Yeah. And
I like to just hold here, strong and deep, pressing up. This is really great for any kind of tension in the headaches, so frontal headaches, or tension, pain, irritation in the eyes.
So this can be very tender. So find your Goldilocks edge, not so much that you're clenching or holding your breath, but not so little that you're not actually feeling something. You don't want to just go through the motions. And so you could do static like that, or there's a common remedy for sinus congestion about moving the index or all the fingers up and down along the bridge of the nose. And they say if you do this 108 times, it will clear and drain your sinuses. Nicole sometimes has allergies. How effective is this one for you?
40% effective, especially
40%.
in the shower with some eucalyptus spray.
Yes, all kinds of props, all kinds of assistance.
And then let's just brush the forehead clear.
Mm.
Just clear the face of any remaining tension. You can use a flat palm if that feels better.
In through
Across
your nose.
the cheeks. Across the neck.
Out an open mouth.
Down the heart and sternum. And then we can end with your hand over hand at the belly.
Yeah, so traditionally in Chinese medicine, men will use their left hand on top, women their right, but it doesn't matter. Find what fits and feels good for you, either right over your navel point or just a little lower over your dantian. Feel that center of presence, that center of beingness, that middle point, intersection between heavenly energy above and earthly energy below.
Yeah, striking your own balance from the inside out.
And continuing to float your wonder questions, activate your curiosity about, what do I want to create this spring? What kind of plans or goals, adventures would I like to experience or express into the world in the coming months? You might not have an answer right away, but please favor the questions, and that will open your possibilities.
Yes, I feel the travel bug
Yeah.
rising.
Yeah, you're getting excited.
Buzzing up.
We haven't been out of Arizona in more than a year, which has never happened to us. So we are excited for it to be safe to travel again.
Yes.
Thank you for joining that practice. Anything you want to add before we take a seat again?
No, that felt lovely.
All right,
that felt nice and warm.
Good little joint freeing series. Cool. And we'll come back and chat with you and give a little more background about what Chinese medicine has to say about the wood element and has to say about springtime and how we can use these common energies to help support our own learning and growth and discovery and healing, of course. You can always experience more healing. Any questions or comments about anything we've gone over so far?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've noticed, but Heath and I are wearing our shades of green again. So maybe you have some green in your closet. Is the healing color for the liver, gallbladder, and the color of spring. We also have our Our green drinks. Ooh. So if you have finding ways to infuse, diffuse, surround yourself with the color of green today.
Yeah, and if you're feeling like some of the qualities that we're going to speak about that relate to the wood element, the wood phase this time of year, if you notice you have lots of challenges in particular, then using green and eating green and seeing green, consuming green can be really helpful.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about some Chinese medical perspectives. And you've heard us talking about the five elements, fire, earth, metal, water, wood, and all five elements are interconnected. And you can see this is what's called the creation cycle, and all the elements, the wood creates the fuel for the fire. The fire burns down the ashes, which creates the topsoil, the ingredients to create dirt or soil. And that soil gets compressed and compacted and creates the minerals that make up the metals. And the minerals in the aquifer give life, electrolytes to the water that can be used to grow new life and new sprouts. So all the elements are interconnected and they all have very specific associations. And this is just a couple of the associations, but all the elements are associated with a time of year.
Mhm.
So wood is spring, as we get more yang, fire is summer. Earth is a transition point between all the seasons, but especially in the Indian summer, the late summer. Metal is autumn, water is winter. But let's really showcase and feature wood, all the elements or phases. You'll hear me go back and forth between elements and phases. Elements is a little more static. So I really like the word phases because it speaks to the infinite transformation of life. The fact
The
that,
cycles.
yeah,
I'm
the
sorry.
no, the fact that the only constant is change. Please don't apologize. Thank you. So ruling over this springtime is the ligaments and tendons. So this is a time where sometimes we can feel stiff as a board. This is why we want to definitely do joint freeing exercises, doing things every day that mobilize as many joints as possible in healthy, easy, smooth ways. You can see, we mentioned how it opens to the eyes, that the flavor is sour. We didn't mention this, but lemon is one of the most powerful things you can use to detox. So anything sour is going to be beneficial for upregulating the energy and the physiology of your liver, which is your main detoxing organ in your body. It shows up as wind, the climatic feature. So you might have been feeling or seeing the wind in the leaves. Sometimes that stirs up pollen. In Arizona, we can even get like haboobs and sandstorms. But windy conditions are things like, and these are projects of the wood phase and projects of the liver in general.
Yeah, projects or challenges that might come up during the wood phase are kind of like any kind of nervous tension, anything that makes us a little shaky or feel like we're on shaky ground. Um, Tinnitus, kind of ringing of the ear. What else?
Yeah. Well, shaky, one of the most obvious is like a
Absolutely,
Parkinson's,
Parkinson's.
any kind of peripheral nervous system challenge, neuropathy, but especially seizures. And Nicole and I had a very strange situation that had never happened to either of us in our life yesterday on our walk after we met yesterday. And beautiful walk. We were doing our loop heading back, and we passed this woman, or this woman had passed us, and then she was, all of a sudden, she was sitting on the ground on the sidewalk, started to lean over, and we went over and helped her out. At first, she was unresponsive, but she was having a seizure. And seizures and epilepsy, that is a very clear windy kind of condition. Wind shows up. So looking symbolically, how do features in nature show up in our own physiology? Being very scattered in your mind, that is a
Windy condition.
yes, that's a windy condition.
Very woody.
Jumping from stimulation to stimulation, boop, 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 not really being tethered down. That's an example of exaggerated wind. But when the wind stirs and it doesn't get either release and freedom, then it can get locked and it can get tight. And it's almost like we're trying to stop the wind, the chi from moving, and then it can get dense and tight, and that can show up as stiffness, as Nicole said, especially in and around the ears, the jaw, TMJD, the back of the neck, and the shoulders. So
Yes.
if you experience stiffness or tension or challenges in those areas, doing full joint free series, getting sour flavors in your diet, filling yourself with green, especially nature, foliage. These are all great ways to help offset some of the windy and some of the wooden, stiff projects or challenges that the season might bring. I wanted to mention all 5 phases are associated with 5 different archetypes. And the wood phase is really fun. The archetype for wood is generally referred to as either the pioneer or the visionary. And so we mentioned already vision, but the visionary, the person who's able to see beyond what is happening right now. Remember yesterday, if you did the embodiment of the tree life cycle, that push and pull inside the seed before the knowing confines of the hull and the unknowing outside is that experience of pioneer. You need to, not even having seen what's on the other side of that seed, having that visionary, that pioneering urge to go beyond the confines of how things are now and today. So the trailblazer, like a Lewis and Clark, an explorer, an astronaut, a person to go into unfound new terrains, the pioneer who's going to take the new idea, the new concept, the new science, the new medicine, or maybe the ancient healing and reformat it into a new way. Regeneration, creativity, creating new plans, new adventures. These are all very wood-like qualities that if we have natural proclivities toward might get amped up, or if we're not really in favor of those, can be really fostered and nurtured during this time of year. Anything you wanted to add about that?
No. No.
Okay, just I'm not going to go through an exhaustive. Oh, that's not the one. Let me see if I have another slide. Let's see somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. I have this for you, and I'd like to share it. Just a moment. Is it? Ah, thank you for your patience, everybody. So I'm not going to share exhaustively all the different all the different qualities of the 5 elements, but here you can begin to see just a few of the qualities that are associated with this element, with this phase. And we spoke about a lot of them today. Something we haven't given a whole lot of attention to is the emotions. And as liver helps control the fluctuations of emotions. So wind in terms of emotions can show up as explosive or short fuse or defensive kind of overreactions. All of a sudden, wah, wah, wah. And sometimes it shows up as excessive anger, like, what do you mean? What are you doing? What's going on? Get out of here. Kind of like an exaggerated anger we're all familiar with. And it's, grandized in
Movies and
TV and
TV and
action,
news.
violence, but there's also, and of course, excessive anger is a challenge, but deficient anger, right? Suppressing our feelings. I remember points in our relationship, Nicole would say, she'd see me kind of gritting my teeth and making a face and kind of brooding. And she'd be like, what's going on? Are you angry? No, I'm not angry.
I'm fine.
That's an example of deficient anger, which can ramp right into its opposite, exaggerated anger. So being in alignment with the changing season also asks us to get curious about how can we get friendly with our emotions.
And the remedy for anger is kindness and generosity and forgiveness. So those are the healing qualities: kindness, generosity, and forgiveness.
And acceptance. I'll throw
You
in
throw
the
in
kit and the
acceptance?
boodle.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you are experiencing some of the physiological or emotional, mental challenges, dropping into acceptance or forgiveness or generosity, and forget the other
Kindness.
ones, kindness, are ways to be an antidote to flip the script.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so those are fun, some fun qualities and some new ways to notice how nature is showing up in your biology, in your body right now, in your nature beingness. How do
Mm.
you express and experience the elements of spring, the elements of wood, and how are you moving that through your body in a way that feels good, maybe, question mark, or does it feel uncomfortable, irritating? And then what are the remedies that are going to support you? So maybe today, think of throwing in some lemon into your water, or finding something green to wear, drink, or eat, or maybe finding an act of kindness that you can share with someone today or with the planet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. I love that. And one of the best elixirs for venting off a pressure cooker of anger is to move.
Yes.
To move in general your body, but also to move that emotion. And something that I really appreciate that is a new development in Nicole and my 25-year relationship. We've probably only been practicing this the last 5 or 10 years, is that we will simply state, I feel angry. Try that on for a moment. And you might be angry or not, but just say it and notice how it's different than explaining why. You're just saying, I feel angry.
I feel angry.
And you can try with different tones. I feel angry. And maybe you don't.
I feel mad.
I'm mad. I feel,
I feel frustrated.
And so what I love about this is that it doesn't require explanation. You're not explaining, you're not blaming, you're not pointing fingers. And what I love about this is, for instance, if Nicole were to say, I feel angry, for me, it's a huge relief because I'm like, oh, okay, good to know. Now I'm connected. I'm current with her emotional state. In the past, perhaps one of us was angry or irritated, but we didn't verbalize it. We didn't say it. And then the other person kind of be walking on eggshells and not knowing what to do. And I know for me, if I'm, especially with someone I love, if I'm noticing they're irritated and frustrated, I'm wondering,
what did I do?
Yeah, how do I make them feel better? And what did I do to create this?
What did I do?
So just hearing, I feel angry, I'm like, oh, okay, good. I'm connected with her. I'm available for her. And I know that she's taking responsibility. It's her feelings. It's not, you made me feel this way, which is not a very healthy way of experiencing our feelings. Just a couple other slides to review those allergy points. So we wanted to give you a little visual again of where you can connect if you do feel, and maybe it's this time of year, or maybe you have challenges with allergies on the regular. These are some really great, fantastic points that Nicole shared with us that you can use. And right off from the nosh, you're starting up high?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, large intestine 20. This is the end of the large intestine meridian. Not only good for sinuses, but great for your immune system. So holding, rubbing, tapping, you can use light or firm pressure. Then moving just a little to the side underneath the cheekbones. You're not right on the tip of the bone, but just below. Stomach 2, also great for sinuses. And urinary bladder 2. And this, yeah, I hear Nicole make a sound immediately, which is her body's way of saying, this is balancing, this is clearing, this is beneficial. And then one super potent liver point that we would be remiss if we didn't share with you is actually on your feet. Remember, the liver is great at detoxifying. And this is a great little photo we found. from the Village Wellness. We're not sure who they are, but we love their photo. And liver 3 is just a couple finger with distance from the webbing of the second and big toe.
Yeah, feel free to massage in there, to hold, to press. It's often a sore point. We oftentimes will use it to help drain the pain. You don't have to do that, hun.
Yeah, well, I wanted to give folks a visual real quick.
Just like you would massage your face or any other part of your body, you're just going to massage in between your toes or hold static in one spot. It's usually a tight or tender spot, but we use it primarily to help drain the energy in the body, to bring the energy down. If there's a lot of rising chi, a lot of liver energy going up, and it feels a little scattered and a little wonky, bring it down into your feet. And it also is great to help release frustration, ease anger, eases resentment, eases the overall tension in your body.
Let's switch sides if you've been working on one. And this is almost always notoriously pretty achy and edgy. And that's your body's way again of saying, I would appreciate more TLC here. I would like some attention here. I would like some befriending. And, at first it might get a little sore as you work it, but if you're consistent with it, it will actually clear up.
Yeah. Yeah. When your body is sore or tight, it's not because it's mad at you.
It's not punishment. Yeah. Oh, cool, Sarah. I'm glad you've been to Village Wellness. I'm happy to get that recommendation. Cool. Very cool. If you see them, tell them we appreciate their images.
Awesome.
The other thing about liver 3 is it's one of the 4 gates of pain in Chinese medicine. So for any pain, or it's known as a lower body analgesic, any discomfort from your hips and pelvis down, especially around your feet, your ankles, your knees, your legs, fatigued legs, work this point. It's really good for lower body pain. And just as a reminder, so 2 gates of pain there. And you've also got the other 2 gates of pain kind of reflexively between the webbing of the first and second finger, just like the webbing of the first and second toe. So for upper body challenges, this is an area and also really good for tension headache, shoulder stiffness, neck pain, jaw, TMJD, tinnitus, that's the ringing, bruxism, that's the grinding in the jaw. So these are all really good. Yeah. And look for that. Look for when does your body take that big sigh. You can give your body that sigh, but also look at a certain point, the body will automatically, when you give it permission, it will give you the pacing and tempo and let you know, oh, that's good. That's enough. That feels good. Good. So for the rest of today, before we meet again, we'll be meeting in 6 hours. So 4:00 Pacific Coast time or Arizona time. I'm not going to try to do the math. I always bungle the math, but that's what time. Get your time converter to check out if you're in another time zone. So 4 p.m. this afternoon, Pacific or Arizona time. And today we'll invite you to really favor, again, the light. Where is the light in your life? What lights you up? Who lights you up? Who, when they come into the room, you're just lit up with them. One thing they talk about in regarding the liver, they say that excessive anger and resentment cause the chi in the body to rise up quickly, causing headaches, ringing in the ears, high blood pressure, or acid reflux. So that's exaggerated liver heat rising, too much anger. If the chi stagnates, it's suppressed.
Or it's stuck.
It doesn't move. It can lead to abdominal distension, excessive frustration, slow digestion, more. So regarding that, a rule of thumb is never eat when you're angry or upset. And here's something that I think is also important. Don't eat with people you don't like. And I would encourage, as we're taking time to regenerate, to focus on growth, to focus on
I
healing.
think Kitty liked that one.
You know, to really choose who are we surrounding our life with, and are they a source of nourishment and upliftment, and do they soothe our ability to digest and assimilate and eliminate? So be open to those sources of nourishment, of growth, of healing in nature, in your body, in your relationships, especially as you take in and maybe give an offering, a love song, or some other kind of acknowledgement and appreciation to a tree, to nature.
Yeah, happy spring day, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you later on this evening.
Did anybody want to share anything before we say adieu? All right.
Well,
if you'd like, unmute, and we'd love to hear your voices as we say bye for now.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.
I think you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
See you. Thank you all.
It's a green opal.
Ooh, beautiful. Oh, yes, you can use minerals, green minerals too. I love it. Ah, yes.
I
Jen.
got one too.
What's that, a jade?
It's malachite. And that's
Malachite, cool. Fun. Other great ideas. Thanks everybody for sharing. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.